Lovely day down here at North Port Oval, and I'm speaking to senior coach Gary Ayres, who's going to provide an update for all the Borough fans out there for what's been going on in the pre-season. Gary, thanks for joining Borough TV. Obviously it's an important time of the year, just over a week now until our first practice match of the season. How are the guys tracking at this stage of their preparation? Yeah,
pretty good, Sam. I think the guys have had a really good program. The pre-season has been quite varied, and the education process has been quite varied really, and the guys have embraced that, and I've been thrilled actually with the intensity with which the players have trained at, and obviously their ability to want to make, I guess, a new start in a lot of ways, and the experience and the guidance and I guess the enthusiasm of a lot of the older ones have been really pleasing. So I've been pretty happy. We haven't obviously played any games and lost any games for points at this particular point in time, but no, so far it's been quite exciting, I think, for what we've seen thus far.
You've recruited heavily in the off-season and lost several experienced players. How have the new players settled in, and what sort of dynamic has been brought to the group?
Yeah, we have. It's about 1,100 games of VFL experience, I think, from memory. So what that does is it closes the door on a lot of the illustrious careers, if you like, from what the guys have been able to give to the Port Melbourne Footy Club. And those guys will go down in history of being fantastic contributors to the history of the footy club. So we've got to replace those guys, as you mentioned, and what it's been able to do is not only from a recruiting point of view, give the guys like Lee Osborne, Dylan Van Oonen, Jordan Lyle, who are all out of an AFL environment. They've come to a club because they want success, and hopefully we can give that. Dan Toman, who was Bendigo's best and fairest winner in their last year in the VFL. So these guys will bring standards to the footy club which are born into them, I guess, or bred into them, because most of them have been in an AFL environment. So, and they've been terrific on the track. Their guidance and also too the ability to come in and offer new ideas, I think, will be extremely important for us. Khan Heratuku is a 70-game VFL player from Frankston, and both him and Jordan will add certainly height to our forward line, which has been much needed, and I don't think in the last 7 years we've really had a lot of that. Someone like Osborne will give some running, rebound, defensive work. Dylan Van Oonen can play key position. Dan Toman will be a midfielder who I think will play a lot of footy for us. He's probably a bit similar to a Shane Valenti type. And if we look at those guys, will come in and have already played a fair bit of senior footy at different levels. But then also too, there'll be guys that have been positioning themselves for, I guess, finally an opportunity. And now that some of the other guys have left, as we've mentioned, it gives them an opening, and hopefully they can secure a senior VFL spot.
Obviously it was disappointing to bow out in the prelim in 2014. So aside from the recruiting, what do you consider to be the main things for the side to work on to take that next step this season?
Yeah, certainly the structures, which that's up to me and the rest of the coaching staff to try and get that right. So we've gone out with a purpose and recruited key position players and guys that can add a little bit of speed, and certainly try and improve our depth in the midfield. Secondly, I think it's our kicking efficiency / goal kicking accuracy. I touched on that last year. We were only 56% really for the whole of 2014, and Footscray won the grand final, and of course they had a goal kicking accuracy of 60%. So our last kick inside 50 and also to our goal kicking accuracy, I think, are two things that need to improve. And hopefully if we can look at just small refinements to our game plan and make it harder for the opposition to play against us, I'll be pleased.
And it's exciting times ahead for the club, not just the start of the season, but obviously the move into the new administration and social facilities, hopefully not far off. And Channel 7 are now on board as the major TV partners as well, so exciting times ahead.
Yeah, and look, it's all about obviously what we can do to keep going forward and offer the facilities that we have to have, and certainly as another revenue stream I think will be extremely important. And who knows, mate, I might be able to get out of the bat cave after all these years. And just from a professional point of view, that we can offer a new match day corporate facility, and that will hopefully improve our ability to attract new sponsors and new members. And also too, with Channel 7 coming on board, and of course the game being virtually played before the main Saturday afternoon action, I think it'll be terrific again for the VFL, and we need as much exposure going down that path as we possibly can, and Channel 7 have certainly playing a big part in obviously the TV rights at AFL level, and hopefully we can come in on the back of something that will give us a productive start, and who knows where it could go in the future.
And finally, what sort of goals or aims have you set for the group in 2015? Obviously all the Borough fans out there are hoping to push towards the pointy end of the ladder again come the end of the season. Can you give us an indication of how the coaching staff see the year panning out, I suppose? Yeah,
look, we're similar, Sam. We don't shy away that we want success here, and our abilities to be able to create that, I think, is there for everybody to see, and we're very bullish about what we can create as a VFL standalone team. Now, you've got to make sure though that the foundations are always laid, and of course that's about winning all our home games. That's always a goal. Obviously winning enough games to finish in the top 8, and then once we've achieved that, then it's to go hard to finish top 4, because you know you give yourself the best opportunity to do that. So that won't ever change, and we've now obviously got to lay some really strong, I guess, indications as a team that that's what we're about, and we're looking forward to the practice matches starting in a fortnight's time.
Gary, thanks for joining Borough TV.
Thanks, Sam.